Order. On Monday, the 17th of March, I informed the House that there would today be an opportunity for honourable and right honourable members to pay tribute to the Right Honourable Tony Benn. Mr. Hilary Benn.
Mr. Speaker, first of all, can I say on behalf of my sister Melissa and my brothers Stephen and Joshua and the whole family just how much the words that we have heard today mean to us. And I don't propose to add to what has already been said and indeed written about my father's political legacy. Apart from anything else, everyone already seems to have their own opinion, as today's debate has demonstrated. But I do want to say a few words about what Parliament meant to him, because it was the centre of his very long life. He won 16 elections, proudly representing first Bristol South East and then Chesterfield. 15 of those elections enabled him to walk through those doors and take his place in this chamber. One of them, the by-election he fought after the death of his father, did not. He was barred from entry to the chamber on the instructions of the Speaker because it was alleged his blood was blue. Mr. Speaker, his blood was never blue. It was the deepest red throughout his life. But that moment taught him that the right of people to choose who will represent them here in this place, the very foundation of our democracy, was never ever granted by those in power. It had to be fought for. That is why democracy is so precious. And his fight to stay in the Commons, I think, had a marked and profound effect upon his life. It was why he was so determined to support others in their struggles, to bring an end to apartheid, the death penalty, in support of the miners, as we have heard, and to campaign for peace, because it was war that had taken from him his beloved elder brother Michael. And it was also why he was so determined to commemorate in Parliament the history of those struggles, because, as he would often say, all change comes from below. And that's why, as we've heard from many members today, he went down into the crypt with his screwdriver and put up that plaque in the broom cupboard. Because he wanted to teach us, why did that brave suffragette spend the night in that broom cupboard in 1911? Well, the answer is because it was census night. And what do you do in a census? You fill in a form. And she wanted to write name, Emily Wilding Davison, address, Houses of Parliament. And why? Because she believed that a woman's place was in the House of Commons. Now, he was very fond of challenging those in authority, assisted by Erskine May. He once even moved a motion of no confidence in the Speaker. But he also had a great sense of fun. On one occasion, as part of a group of Labour MPs, they had decided to delay a division in the lobby because they wanted to make trouble for the government. And the Sergeant-at-Arms was dispatched in order to investigate and told them that if they didn't move, that he was going to have to take their names. Now, my father looked at him and, as his diary records, said, but that would be completely contrary to Mr. Speaker's ruling of 1622. Now, after the Sergeant-at-Arms had departed from the fray, Dad then turned to his fellow conspirators and, with that mischievous twinkle in his eye, admitted he had just made that rule. But it seemed to have done the trick. He loved this place. He loved the people who built it, those who help us in our work. He loved the debate and the argument. But he did not idealise Parliament. He saw it as the means to an end, to be a voice for the movements outside of these walls who seek to change the world for the better, as well as being a voice for the people who send us here and who, all of whom, have the privilege to represent. And that was, I think, the essence of his character. Yes, it was shaped, as we have heard, by events and experiences, but also, as for many of us, by his childhood. He was at heart not just a socialist, he was a non-conformist dissenter. His mother taught him to believe in the prophets rather than the kings, and his father would recite these words from the Salvation Army hymn, which I think best explains what he sought to do in Parliament. Dare to be a Daniel. Dare to stand alone. Dare to have a purpose firm. Dare to make it known. And Mr. Speaker, if we are not here to do that, what are we here for? Well, he was. He knew what he thought. He was not afraid to say it. He showed constancy and courage in the face of adversity. And if I may say so, whatever the scribes and the Pharisees may have to say about his life, it is from the words and kindnesses of those whose lives he touched that we, those who loved him most, take the greatest strength. After all, any life that inspires and encourages so many others is a life that was well lived.
Hear, hear. Yeah.